Hey everybody, welcome to the finals. And we will not be going first, unfortunately. Our opponent is playing a bunch of energy removal. Interesting. So I have to keep that in mind. Donphan attacking for 1 energy is pretty nice in that situation, but may be hard for us to build up too many more than that. The non-EX Genesect. You don't see this card too much anymore, or at all really. Call for family effects were much better when the player going first could attack, because you could go first and still have something to do. Actually, it looks like our opponent just let us go first. Interesting. So I think in this situation we're just going to go ahead and I feel like we should just Karina for a Fampy and a Robo Sub and just kind of build our board a bit. No energy is not the best, but also not the worst because, like I said, Donphan only takes 1 energy to attack. After we see a little bit more of what our opponent's going on, it's very likely that we just end next turn. If we draw an energy, I could see us Karina. I could see us Karinaing and then getting a Donphan and some kind of a muscle band or a bangle or something. So no more bangle on him. Not the on the Herlucha, not the biggest deal. Don't really want to end our opponent, but it might just be what we have to do. I don't really want to discard all those cards to just be able to Juniper. Alright. Play a Sigilyph. I think we actually just Ultra Ball here to try and draw the max amount of cards with our bicycle. Because we would really like to draw an energy here. And we did. And here we have an interesting decision. We can send up a Sigilyph with the idea that we just Karina for, like, Donphan Floatstone next turn. I don't really want to give up the Robo Sub. I could send up the Robo Sub and just discard that with the idea that the Sigilyphs are just great in this matchup, so we don't need the Robo Subs as much, which might actually be fine. I would rather that than we send up the Sigilyph with our plan of Karinaing for a Floatstone, and then something happens and we can't do that, and Sigilyph is stuck active, or we otherwise can't. We otherwise can't get an attack off. And it looks like the Sigilyphs are actually going to be way less good as our opponent has 3 non-EX attackers, which is unfortunate for us. And I think in this spot we just Karina, take Donphan, and a Muscle Band. Having a little bit of energy problems, which is not great considering that we saw the anti-energy cards, or all the energy removal cards our opponent had in their deck. But we also haven't been trying to draw energy. We've been playing a lot of Karinas and playing a pretty slow game, so we should be okay. Also, I guess it's good that the Team Flare Grunt only works when only works in the active Pokemon, and our active Pokemon almost never have energy attached to it, so that's a plus for us. Just gonna go ahead and fire off the end here. The Pokemon Catcher is an interesting one, but I think we could do something better with that later in the game. go ahead and retreat. And just go into Sigilyph and basically just be able to wall here. If he wants to knock out the Sigilyph, he can, but that'll prevent his board from being built up. The risk here, as I talked about before, is that we can miss the energy or the floatstone with the Sigilyph and kind of be stuck, but it looks like he's just kind of trying to aggressively knock out the Sigilyph, which he might not even do because if he has to heads to do it, but yeah, he knocked it out. Either way, it's fine for us, really. It's not too big of a concern. Yeah, played Vampy, and I think we try and catch her the Genesect or the Virizion now. And then draw 10 cards, which hopefully draws us some of the things we need. Actually, I can't. Oh, well. Gonna go ahead and attach this silver bangle here, floatstone the Sigilyph. Would prefer the Sigilyph not just get knocked out by this Genesect. That's what his plan is. I'm just gonna send up the Robo Sub. Wow, a gold potion. Interesting. Yep, gold potion and enhanced hammer. We knew the enhanced hammer was coming. So not too big of a deal there. And then we evolve. And I guess I'll just end our opponent. -1 card for them. We don't have a whole lot that we need to immediately play in our hand anyway. Our opponent has certainly found a way to counter Donphan here. Interesting that he would zero-sick it, the floatstone off and then knock it out. He didn't know he was going to knock it out, of course, but I'm still not sure that that was a great reasoning. Just going to go ahead and Lysander here, even if the price count a bit. Actually, even if I'll be ahead on prizes afterward, which is pretty nice. Drawing the Sigilyph there was nice. Another enhanced hammer, as to be expected. I'd rather have our opponent knock enhanced hammer these cards off than our DCEs. Obviously, him enhanced hammering these cards off make it less likely we can get to our DCEs, but the DCEs will likely play a bigger role in the game as time goes on. Computer search. go ahead. Maybe that computer switch actually might have been a mistake. That switch will be pretty valuable for us. Just wasn't thinking everything through. Let's get a Versus Seeker and just Versus Seeker back in. Setting up the Donphan here because I don't really want our opponent to take as many free prizes, and we have a Juniper in hand to try and draw an energy. Opponent with one card in hand ensures that we're not. Let's go ahead and play the Fampy. Send up the Sigilyph, and we can attach the DC and retreat it next turn if need be, but we choose the float style of prizes, which is pretty nice. And we're looking pretty good right now. Opponent drawing the Tierno makes things a little bit worse for us, but nope, you just Megalo Cannons for nothing. Floats down here. So let's see. This guy has the Bengal. Go back into Sigilyph. We have the Versus Seeker for the Lysander next turn, so we should have the game. Whoops. Should have the game wrapped up unless anything weird happens. Oh yeah, so let's see. He has 190 hit points left. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Yep, so whoops. Get back the Lysander. Play the Lysander. Retreat. Boom. Switch to Sigilyph. Not that it matters too much, and we have won the tournament. So, our opponent actually had kind of the best build of his deck possible to beat ours, I think. A lot of non-EX attackers are nice, but the unfortunate thing is that the Virizion Genesect deck doesn't, I don't think it can really afford to be attaching to a bunch of non-EXs and not really doing a lot. You know, it strives on the idea of turn 2 Emerald slash turn 3 G Booster, turn 4 G Booster, then maybe turn 6 or 7 G Booster. So, it is what it is. But looks like we won the trophy. We have won the tournament. We have 2 gold trophies now. We earned some tournament tickets and some coins. I actually ran out of tournament tickets playing, so I need to play in a few of these to be able to play in the ones that award packs. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the matches, and I'll see you next time.